Well, we're here at a very disappointing time in the St Kilda Football Club's history, but it's a foundation club of the AFL, St Kilda Footy Club. 1873, it was inaugurated, and I expect it to be around in 2173. It's an institution, that's been around for that 138 years. We've got 40,000 loyal members. We turn over in excess of 30 million each year, and we employ 100 people. We've got a very strong executive team and a very stable board. And it isn't built around any one individual. This club is the sum of all its parts, so everybody's an integral part of it. We thank Ross for his exceptional service during his time with the Saints, and obviously, again, it's very disappointing for us. But there's no point on us dwelling on the past. We have to move forward, and we're now focused on the future and a smooth transition to new arrangements. Any questions?
Greg, obviously you've had a great relationship with Ross over the years. What was your initial reaction when you heard the news?
Well, again, disappointment's about the only word that I can come up with, because Ross served us well. He's had 5 good years here. He's achieved a lot. And I had every reason to believe up until 5:30 last night that he was going to continue on with the St Kilda Football Club.
Were you feel betrayed, Greg?
I wouldn't say betrayed, because football's that sort of business that people move on, things change. So it wouldn't be one of the things that I wouldn't call it betrayal.
Michael, when you took that phone call last night, take us through your reactions and what's been the past 12, 18 hours.
Ross rang me last night and indicated he'd like to see me at about 5 o'clock, and so we got together just before our board meeting, our monthly board meeting last night, and my view was the same when we caught up. We were disappointed, clearly. Ross was disappointed, but there's great respect in this club for Ross Lyon. He's done a wonderful job at this club. He's got a great working relationship with the players. He's got a great working relationship with the executive. So clearly we were disappointed that Ross had indicated that he wanted to move on. I think we were disappointed. I think we were disappointed at the time, and as I'd indicated, and as I said, he had a great working relationship with the players, and we were disappointed, and we're now starting to turn our mind clearly to our way forward from here.
How did you leave it? Obviously, the club is blindsided with this happening so quickly.
Look, we're all disappointed. We respect Ross greatly. If Ross is moving on with other things in his life, we've met with the playing group this morning. They're clearly disappointed as well. They've got a great relationship with Ross. He's been an outstanding coach for this football club. We all acknowledge that, and we pay due respect to that.
Has that respect now been lost from the players and the club towards?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, Ross Lyon's record stands alone. Ross Lyon has been an outstanding coach at this football club. He's had a great group of players to work with. They'll continue to be here and perform strongly for the club and its 40,000 members. But no, our respect is the same it's always been. We've great admiration for what Ross has achieved.
I find it hard to understand, given the fact that he's a guy who, up until 2 days ago, told the playing group that he was going to be here. Up until yesterday, 5 o'clock, your belief was that he was going to be here, and then all of a sudden he just pulled the plug. I can't understand how you can still respect the guy.
Well, we respect him for what he's achieved here. And I think we've been very clear about that. We respect him for what he's achieved here, and he's achieved some great things with this football club. But things move on, and we look forward, and we'll find the next great coach at St Kilda Football Club.
Do you feel though he's been disrespectful to the club? I mean, at a time when you were renegotiating your new contract, clearly for some weeks now we've been talking.
Well, they're questions for Ross Lyon, not for St Kilda Football Club. We were having constructive discussions with his management group. Those discussions have got to a point where we thought that we had an arrangement in place with Ross Lyon. Ross made a decision that wasn't to be the case. We were advised of that late yesterday afternoon. So to that extent, we were incredibly confident that Ross would be here and extend his contract past the year he had to run for another 3 years. We offered him a 4-year contract, and we're disappointed he didn't take it. Clearly we're disappointed. But we need to move on and look forward now and find the next great coach for the St Kilda Football Club.
How did he leave with 1 year to go on his contract?
Ross exercised a right to terminate his contract, and so he did that, and he's now moved on.
Are you likely to enforce the 3-month period that he's got, obviously?
We don't want to keep anyone here. We don't want to keep anyone here that doesn't want to be here and their heart's not here. We've got a new agenda now, right? And that's to get on with finding ourselves, as Michael has said, our next coach.
He's free to go and take up duties as of now at Fremantle. We're not going to hold him that 3-month period.
Ross has indicated he's no longer going to be here. We've moved on. Ross has moved on. The sooner we move on, we've already started planning to put a selection panel in place. Andrew Thompson, Nathan Burke, decorated players of this football club will be involved in that process, as will Chris Pelkin. We've had meetings on that this morning and last night, so we'll be making announcements to the effect of what an appropriate selection panel will be to move forward and move into the process of finding a new coach for, as I said, the next great coach of St Kilda Football Club.
There have been reports that Ross was unhappy with having Chris Pelkin in that role above him. Is that your understanding? Has he given you any other reasons as to what's behind his decision?
We haven't had any discussions with Ross about any of the reasons at this point. That's a question for Ross. You know, Chris is a competent professional guy, been in the industry 23 years, highly regarded. I wouldn't have thought that's the case.
Is there any ill feeling towards Fremantle about how this is all playing out?
No, not at all. I mean, everybody's entitled to run their affairs the way they want to run their affairs, and you know, Fremantle. That's really a question for Fremantle at the end of the day.
Greg, given that he's so pivotal and such a face of St Kilda, does this just rent the whole fabric of this club, having someone like that in such a quick amount of time turn around and turn his back on it?
No, I don't think it's got anything to do with the fabric of the club. From my point of view, as I said earlier, we're the sum of all the parts, right? And there are 40,000 members, there's 100 people work here. Ross is merely one. Let me just say this quite clearly, right? Ross was, we are, and we are going ahead with our business, right? So all due respect to Ross, right? He did a great job, but we've now got a future to look forward to, and that's what we're going to do.
It's going to be a big void to fill. Are you behind the 8 ball? There's 3 other clubs already having a look for, and a long way down the path of appointing a new coach.
Well, it's 12 hours virtually since the news came out, so right, from my point of view, we'll be doing what we have to do to have a look, and I'm quite sure that there's enough talent out there that we'll find it.
Are you prepared to be as ruthless and pragmatic in your search for new coaches? Fremantle obviously wasn't firing Ross.
Look, I think we'll go through a process, and you know, we'll be competitive as we need to be. We certainly will go through a process that satisfies and typifies the style of St Kilda Football Club. It'll be structured, it'll be well organised. We'll talk to people that are available. We'll talk to people that want to come and work with St Kilda Football Club. You know, we'll make announcements on the process next week in terms of how that'll all take place.
How relevant is experience?
Well, clearly you need to have experience to coach a football club, and there's lots of talent out. There's a range of talent out there. There's some more experience and less experience, and once again, they'll be matters for the panel when they get together to start to work through.
Do you speak to Mick Malthouse?
Sorry?
Speak to Mick Malthouse?
Well, my understanding is Mick Malthouse is contracted with the Collingwood Football Club.
So it's Ross Lyon here, though.
Well, that's a matter for Ross and a matter for Mick, but you know, it's not our intention to be talking to coaches that are under contract.
Will you speak to Mark Harvey?
I think we'll leave that to the panel. They can work through that. I don't know Mark personally, but we'll leave that to the panel. They can work through who the appropriate candidates are. I'm sure there's lots of talent out there. I'm sure Mark's got great virtue to add to any club. We'll talk to anyone that's appropriate to talk to through that process.
Who else are you thinking about in terms of that panel? You've got a couple of homegrown talent. Are you likely to bring in anyone from outside?
Well, you know, obviously myself and Chris Pelkin will sit on that as well, and we'll look to add some other skills to that as appropriate and necessary to get that panel in the right sort of shape.